It's like magic. Oh my God, magic is here. So, one of the things is that we are getting ready for this beautiful yet rambunctious full moon. And it's not just any type of full moon. This is a full moon partial solar eclipse in Aries. And before this happens, we have Mercury going over Neptune. We have Venus going and conjuncting with Neptune. And then just hours later, Neptune going into Aries for the first time for us living right now in about 100, I don't know, 64 years. It'll be permanently in Aries next year, February, when it conjuncts Saturn. Saturn won't be in Aries until May. They will almost conjunct, but not fully conjunct. What does this mean? What is this all about? Like, what is this craziness that I'm talking about? Well, it means that one, this weekend is going to be a very pressurized weekend. And I just looked at in Myanmar, a 7.7 earthquake just hit. So, and they don't usually have earthquakes in around Thailand and Myanmar and Vietnam. It's quite rare. And so they just had this huge earthquake. We're having a lot of political unrest in the world. A lot of leaders are being exposed in many different ways that they don't want to be exposed. Uh, Things are like here in Canada, the election is coming up, very quickly. So we have things to do with the election that are coming forward. So things are changing, but there is where, especially in Aries, and with a lot of energy, and the North Node being in Pisces, and now and then Saturn being in Pisces, this isn't about pushing. This isn't about pushing your agenda or somebody else's agenda. This is about surrender. This is about divine will. This is about allowing and listening to your inner guidance on which way you are going to be going. This isn't about let's forge ahead and let's push what I want upon everybody I think should hear it, kind of thing. This is not about that. This is about a slow process that we are undergoing, a slow, steady, yet, I'm going to say, pressurized energy and transformation that's coming forward, and an exploration for us to be looking at. So this is really coming in fast and furious. It is slow, but it's fast, if that makes any sense. So we have this energy that is really pushing things ahead, that is really getting us to look at what kind of world you want to live in. What are the connections that you want to make? How do you want to make them? How do you want to change things? How do you want to create newness within your life? This is where, especially with Neptune going into Aries, and I call it uh the Greek fire, because it is this explosiveness of Neptune going into Aries, which is ruled by Mars, and wanting to be fast and furious and I'm bigger than you are, kind of thing. And Mars is coming, is like trudging along, still in the post retrograde of trying to get the hell out of Cancer, trying to get the hell out of water. It doesn't want to be in that water. It doesn't want to deal with the water, because it's almost where, it's like the Four of Swords. So the Four of Swords is the rest before the war. And that's where, the anxiety and everything building up within us is coming. It's because here comes Mars. Mars wants to get the fuck out of, excuse me, sorry, I guess I'm not supposed to be swearing, but wants to get the hell out of this energy of just resting. It's tired of resting. It's getting angst. It's getting anxious. It wants to move. It wants to go. And where it's going towards Leo. And it's going to take a little bit until about the end of April for everything to really get moving. Right now, it feels like things are just like people are in freak out zone. People are feeling scattered. Within a month, we're going to be feeling a lot more calmness. We're going to be more focused on the direction where we want to go and how we are wanting to get there. This is going to be very important for us, in our spiritual life. This is a spiritual energy that's coming forth that is getting us to really look at, do you have a spiritual practice? Are you meditating? Are you doing your prayers? Are you connecting with nature? Are you grounding? Right. And if not, then I feel that the power above is going to force you. The power above is going to say, you know what? If you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, then bye bye, I'm going to make you. It's like, I'm going to make you do it, kind of thing. So this energy is beautiful. It's nothing to be scared of. It is something that is going to be, that is very transformational. And it is one that really gets you to look at truth. And it's funny because I just wrote on my Facebook page a whole thing about truth and what truth is. And I'm not prolific on Bible or anything else like that. Different verses come to me at different times, and or they show up across my feed, and then I look into them. So one of the ones that came in today for me was John 18:38, and it is, Pilate said to him, "What is truth?" And most people believe that truth does not exist apart from what personally determined truth is. Postmodernism is the prevailing mode of thought influencing our culture right now. This is a worldview that asserts that external absolute truth cannot be known through reason. This was the focus during the age of enlightenment, or science, the focus of modernism, because the absolute truth is either non existent or unknowable. Interesting. Postmodernism asserts that experiences is more reliable than reason. Truth is created rather than discovered. I feel, I feel, has replaced. I know. Postmodernism says if it's true for you, then it's true as it needs to be. Is that true? Is it true? Is that true? I mean, that's postmodernism. And this is where no one has the right to question what you have chosen as truth for yourself. But does the phrase "what is truth" or "what's true for you" really mean anything? Can truth exist as reality solely for the people who believe in it? Wow. And I go further on to saying that because there is so much, just in that little where we state that I feel this is true. If it's true for you, then it's true as it needs to be. Really? Is it? Look at the state of the affairs of the world today. When people say it's true that I am, it's true that I can. This is my truth. I need to. Very interesting. And can truth exist as a reality solely for people who believe it? Say you and your friend find an apple. Your friend believes that the apple is full of worms. You believe the apple is free and fresh. It's free from worms. Can you differing views about it? You have differing views about that apple. You have created two truths. You both can experience as a reality. The best way to find out is to slice the apple open. Then you'll discover that either the apple has worms or it doesn't. The moment you slice it, either your truth or that of your friend will be exposed as an error. In the quest of truth, people check if something works. If your faith helps you to have a nice life with morals and peace, then great. It's great, right? It works. Your faith is true for you. But if a priest is accused of whatever, then the truth he taught is proven to be not true because it didn't work. That's how many people discern what is true. God says the truth itself will stand up to scrutiny. And when you put it into principle and action, it will result in a life that works. It's not if it works, it's true. There is an absolute truth, and whether that truth is true does not depend on whether anyone chose to believe it. Instead of sitting contently and looking at the apple, one of us thinking it's full of worms and the other thinking it's fresh, we need to investigate. We need to dig deeper. So that we learn not just what we believe, but why we believe it. It is important to question. It is important to dive deep into why you believe something, and commit to digging deeper and studying so that you can understand why I believe what I believe. It is not just going by what somebody says they believe. I am this. This is digging deeper. Well, why do you believe that? How did you come to that conclusion? Where did that conclusion come from? How did you learn that ideology? Right? This is about questioning. We're in a time of questioning. We're in an era that you can't just take things because someone said that's true. It is about us stepping into that unknown and discovering that unknown. And as you discover that unknown, as you start to dive into that unknown, you start to peel off the onion layers. You start to look at it. But people are so afraid of finding that truth, looking at that new reality, because they want to be safe and secure, and they think that they're safe and secure, and they believe that everything in the world is okay, or that, oh, somebody's going to come and save me. Is that true? This is Byron Katie goes into a whole thing about truth, and questioning what is true, and looking at the deeps of truth, and putting yourself into the truth and what you are questioning. And I think that is very important for us, especially as we're going into this full moon solar eclipse, or new moon solar eclipse, I should say, in Aries, that we have to look at how we are questioning, what we are questioning, and where we come to that thought form and that idea, and look at, is it true? Is it absolutely true? Hmm. Lots of things to look at, lots of things to question. And yeah, so there you go. That's my first live. And I'm going to send you guys out with so much love. And may the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you on TikTok. And hopefully I can do some more lives. This is kind of cool. I've never done this before. So, first time for everything. So blessed be everybody. Have a great one, and take some time to look at, uncover what truth is, uncover what that truth is for you. And yeah, take some time. Blessed be. Talk to you later. I'm hoping this is a button. Yeah. And now. Whoa. That to unlock more features, dismiss. That was cool. I just did my TikTok live. I didn't even know I was doing you know what? I forgot I had. Anyways, this is the crazy me. I didn't even know I had TikTok open, and I thought I was on um Instagram, because I was going to go do Instagram live. And how likely are you? I'll say an 8, I guess. There you go. There you go. So yeah, so this is interesting. Um, because to my knowledge, let's go look at it. I have 763 followers, and I thought I needed like 1,000 followers to do a live. So that is really cool. I got to look into this even more. Yeah, baby. So now that I'm back on YouTube, truth, I mean, uncovering the truth. And I think TikTok, you have to, what I've discovered with other content creators, is that what you say, you have to be very careful, because there's a lot of cray crays out there. There's a lot of cray crays on YouTube and Instagram as well. But, you know, I would love to get 763 followers on my YouTube. I think I have 200 and some, which is kind of cool. It's a slow and steady climb that I am doing. But take some time this weekend connecting with this moon. I wouldn't put out my crystals with this moon. Not, I don't know about the moon water. I think moon water with Neptune going into fire. I would wait until the full moon in April to put out anything and do some moon water. I would wait till the next full moon. Just saying because not everything is being seen right now, and I find being right now we're in the dark phases of the moon, we're in the devil phases, that it just feels very, alien. A lot of alien type weird energy that seems to be wanting to block more out than what is being blocked out, and, so I would just be cautious with setting out any, um, water crystals and stuff. I don't know, it doesn't feel right for me. If it feels right for you, definitely do it. I mean, you gotta go by your own intuition and how you feel, not my intuition and how I feel. This is just how I'm feeling about it. But, I would definitely, you know, just sort of weigh it out because this is just weird energies that are coming in and a lot of obscurities that are coming in. Another thing that I've been kind of wondering about, and I've heard this quite about a bit, and it's where and I just saw a post on one of the witchies people that I kind of follow. And she was stated that something about what did she say? Oh, just I want to repeat this properly in what she said and not misquote. Um, ooh, Jacqueline. Let me see which which nature witch is it? Witch's nest? I don't know. Maybe it was. Maybe it was her content creator. Beautiful. Or maybe it wasn't. Anyways, it was basically saying the Roman Catholic Church started the devil. And I'm I don't know. I got the devil's been around for a long time. I don't think the Catholic Church made I see I don't think it's the Catholic Church that made the devil. The devil, I mean, if you read into the Old Testament, the devil was there. The devil was around tempting um throughout the Old Testament, and um they talk about the temptations and everything in the Old Testament. And even other religions talk about the devil and they talk about possession and stuff like that. I mean, even within the Buddhist and the Muslim religion, they do have people who do exorcisms. And I find that very interesting. Let's see if I can get on Instagram now and oh, there's my Instagram. So there we go. Now I'm on Instagram. So that TikTok kind of made me nervous. Like, 'cause I was just like, whoa, I'm on TikTok. And I'm not even like, look at me. I just finished cleaning. I just did a whole bunch of cleaning. I look like shit. But anyways, this is where I find, knowledge is power. Finding out truth, right? Okay, is that true? Did they make up the devil? And I'm just like, no, but there is information and there is stuff that, in the past what the church did. Actually, the church, when it comes to the witch hunts, used the book of Demonology, and the book of Demonology was actually King James, which wasn't Catholic. That was he was the King of England. The King of England, he's the Church of England, right? So you're you have this saying that people are saying, and then a lot of people believed it true. And that's the whole thing. It's coming back to truth. You gotta look into the truth. You gotta look into why certain things are said, or is that true? And I find like with this astrology that's coming in with the planets the way that they're moving, and plus Mercury going back into Pisces, things feel like they're a little we can't find, or things feel a little bit um, out of touch, or it's very difficult to get the full information because it is in a Piscean, coming into a Piscean energy, and Saturn's there, and Saturn is wanting for that structure, wanting to have. I mean, Saturn rules Capricorn. Capricorn's all about institutions, structures, government, hospitals, things along that line. So you're wanting to look into that structure of how that structure was formed and how that structure was created and where it came from. And a lot of people don't want to do that. It's like, oh, it's too much work, that's too much time. But that's the same thing that's been happening for the last 5 years. People did not want to go into the truth. People didn't want to go into it. People didn't want to ask the questions, because if you ask the questions, people aren't going to like you. They're going to, speak ill of you, or you're going to be canceled, right? I mean, I think I'm canceled. I don't think I'm, because I mean, you look at my numbers and the amount of years that I do, there's a lot of people that I pissed off over the years. Uh, because either they didn't like what I did or how I did it or who I was. Hey, girl from foreign. This is why it's so important to look into truth. This is why it's so important to look into things. And when I see statements like, "Oh, the church created this, the church created the devil," I'm like, okay, I want to understand where they came with that. And I know a lot of it comes from, when they went around killing the witches, killing, I mean, they didn't just kill witches, they killed a lot of people because it was a moneymaker. This was a bunch of judges and um, axemen going around killing people in the name of what they feel the name of. And they did it in the name of. Now, that to me is very devilish. They are the devil, right? Somebody going around and saying, in the name of God, I am doing this, is very devilish. And being devilish, that means I want to obscure this name. I want to make this name obscure. And if I make this name obscure, then it's going to get people to stop believing in that, or believing in whatever it is. I mean, that's basically what they did. I mean, because the witches weren't they definitely weren't bad people. They were herbalists, they were aromatherapists, they were midwives, they were the healers, they were the ones that had that was the guidance counselor in the village, the one that helped the young girl to find her love, in having her to believe in herself, that she is more beautiful, that she could find somebody who can love her. This is a person who really, wanted to lift up community. Definitely there were people there that were, within every society, within every place, there are people that are sort of not so nice and wanted to take advantage of people. But for the majority, I think they were beautiful people that wanted to lift up. I mean, the witch's tartan that was in Scotland is pretty awesome, right? And I feel that this is where we're coming to. We're coming to a place where things of truth are being revealed, and a lot of people don't like that. They don't want to hear that. Things that are going to be uncovered more so than have ever been uncovered in our lifetime. And in uncovering them, that means there's truth to be told. That means there's also, within our humanity and who we are as humans, is starting to be exposed. And when a Y chromosome was introduced, and I think, what's that, 10,000 years ago? Because it was from East Asia that this Y chromosome started to be introduced into the world, and then now it's spread. It's interesting how that changed humans, that changed our thought patterns, that changed the way that we um, create and do things. Where did it came in from somewhere. So it's interesting that now we're entering, especially with Pluto and Aquarius, a time where we are going to be questioning humanity. We're going to be questioning the way our world works, the way that we are structured, our monetary system, from our currency, our money, to relationships, and how how our relationships are formed, to government policies, and how government is able to rule, basically. So there's all of these things that are starting to really reformulate. And look at it, all started with a thing about, somebody saying the devil was created by the Catholics. And I'm just like, okay, so I went from there and now look where I am. Right. So from that means you start to dig. That means you start to look at, oh, well, where did this come from? Where did this come from? And why are they saying that? And where that belief is. So, and I was brought up to question. I was brought up to question everything. I was brought up to question the church. Yeah, I was raised Catholic, but I was brought up in, I guess, maybe a weird Catholic family, because I was told to question. I was told to ask. Maybe my elder brothers and sisters weren't, but I was. I was in youth group and traveled and went to one of the first youth conventions down in Spokane and another one in Seattle. Huge, huge ones from people all over the world. And we were told, question yourself. Why do you believe what you believe? How do you believe what you believe? And that I was also in a church where a priest was convicted of being a pedophile. Right? It was one of the biggest cases. And many people, again, their foundation was shattered because their belief system, they had this whole belief system, and that because of what he did, now they don't have a belief system. And this is where, when the Monsignor came in and he had us handing out rocks to everybody and asked us, whoever's without sin, throw the first rock, right? I found an interesting concept, TikTok. Narcissist energy is the devil energy. Yeah, it's partially. I think it's partially. I mean, devil energy is, the thing is that the devil looks at where it can infiltrate into your life. And it can infiltrate into your life through your thoughts and how you interact with people, how you judge people. That's how the devil works. It can work in very minor ways, right? Narcissism is just one area, but he comes in and he works in many, many different ways. And that's going back to who is without sin, you can cast the first stone. That's why it's so important that my trust is in the divine or in God. My trust isn't in man. If I'm putting my trust and my faith and my belief in man can, he can fall, he's faltered, he's sinful, but God is not. And that's the whole thing, is like, people, like, even within the witch hunts, people were believing in man. They weren't believing in God and trusting in God and seeing, well, God helped this person and this person divinely, or helped this person do these things, and it brought out great things, right? This is where, when you listen to the political parties and stuff, right now, no side is perfect, right? No side is perfect. One side's a little bit nicer, a little bit better than the other, but that's for you to do your investigation and find out, and what that truth is. Everybody hates, why do you hate Trump? People are like, I hate Trump. He's this and he's that. So far, women, people are still dressing up as whatever they want to dress up. These people are still saying that they want to be whoever they want to be. He just said in government and in what they're doing, there's a man and a woman. That's it. That's it. There's no they, them, whatever there is. That's what he said. And people got mad at that. Mad at what? A truth? Now we can go into the truth, because even if that you have an XX or an XY chromosome, like if you have that, you are either man or woman, right? So truth is an interesting thing. But as I stated, and it's on my Facebook page, and people can go back there and read it, where it's like, this is my truth. So this is, and you can't question it. You can't question my truth, because this is my truth. Well, yeah, I'm going to question your truth. You question my truth, so I'm going to question your truth. Right? I want to get into it. I want to understand where you came to that decision. How did you come to that decision? What were you listening to? Who are you around? Right? Who's your people? Who's your posse? Right? If your posse is a bunch of drug addicts, are you going to be drug free? Probably not. You're eventually going to fall, right? So it's how you step out of that and how you make the changes. If everybody's preaching a certain thing, and we've seen that with a guy with a funny mustache, to preach a certain way, then everybody starts to believe in that certain way, and they believe that's the truth. And then we know what's happened there. Right now, everybody's believing Russia's bad, bad Russia. What's up, Putin bad, right? And it's like, okay, do your research, look into the history, look into how everything happened. But people don't want to. It's like, no, 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 because CNN said, or Washington Post said, or CTV said they're bad, so we have to believe in that. Well, they also told you to take the elixir. They also said that it's going to kill you. So it's this is with the astrology coming in this weekend. Yeah, it's an intense weekend, a very intense weekend. It's not a weekend to push and shove and try and be authoritative in what you think is truth. This is a time to okay, I need to surrender and I need to trust in a higher power and know that I'm being guided by my truth and by my guidance. There you go. It's crazy. I'm just going to pull out a couple of tarot cards. I had a similar revelation about the thing people say about do what makes you happy as long as you do no harm to others. Yet you have crybabies who cry, and that's not my problem. Yeah. It's the thing is you're always going to hurt somebody. And this is where the energy is too. It's like to have empathy, but to hold your strength. And this is where, from the old, when a lot of spiritualism came about and the pagan community started to grow, and everybody says, oh, we got to be kind and loving to everybody, and everything's all sweet and cozy. And no, Saturn's about boundaries. Saturn's about, about knowing the truth. Saturn's about truth. Like, he doesn't bullshit around. It's the truth. This is it. This is the King of Swords. This is the king of I don't give a fuck. Right? He's married to the queen of I don't give a fuck. Here's the King of Swords saying, hey, here's what we're going to do. Here's the logical of what we do. It's in a controlled environment. We want to control this environment, right? So, I mean, there's an extremes within the control as well. But this is where it's like, which way do I want to go? I know what this truth is. Understand what this environment is that I'm walking into. Do I want to continue on with it? Because, maybe I don't want to, because that means I'm going to stand out like a sore thumb. I'm not going to like what they say. It's going to look funny, whatever it is. So, crazy world we live in. I just did a TikTok live for which I've never done before. I didn't even know I could do it. It was an accident. So we'll see if it was a good accident or not. From that. The Empress. Look at that. So she holds knowledge. She has the Torah there. She has her trust. She has the moon. These are the seeds of wisdom. The pomegranates are the seeds of wisdom. So there's wisdom that is behind her, but it is, this is where you have to trust in knowledge. You may not get all the knowledge that you need at this time. And sometimes you have to wait it out. So the high priestess isn't going to give you everything. She's not going to lay out the whole pathway for you. She's going to show you some guidance, and then you're going to have to go from there. And in comes the goddess of abundance. Here comes the Empress. So we got the high priestess and the Empress there. These are two badass bitches that are together. They know things. They want to create things. They want to create the abundance. They want to create the love. But they're also knowing what they should say and how they should say it and where they are going to create it. The Empress is not going to just throw her seeds willy-nilly in and around. She's going to be very she's going to really do her, I'm going to plant my garden over here, I'm going to plant this over here. I shared the hell out of your live. I think you were a 1.1K. Oh, really? Ah! It was an accident, Shar. It was an accident. Like actually thought it was I thought I got out of TikTok and I was doing Instagram. I don't even know how I got on the live. That's how pretty I am. That's how pretty I am. I'm so pretty. That's what I say. You're just so pretty. Yes, I am. I'm just so pretty. I'm just gonna go with I'm just pretty. So that was interesting. So, and from that, oh, look at we got all major arcana. So this is a major weekend. Major arcanas are coming out. They're telling us things, right? This is like this major arcanas are coming out. We got the high priestess, the empress, and the star. The balancing. What are we balancing? What are we creating? Oh, and there's a lot of water there, so there's going to be very emotional because there's a lot of Pisces energy coming in. We got energies in Cancer. We have this energy coming in. It is like, wow. And the star comes out after the tower, so we know shit is falling. Oh, I shouldn't say that because that earthquake that just happened in Myanmar, God bless the people. That's crazy. This is where things are crumbling. But with the high priestess and the empress are telling you, you got to know, you got to trust in the knowledge that you have. More knowledge is coming. Know that things are opening up, but it's not going to be pretty in many times. And if you're going to try and be an Aries and be an ass, sorry Aries, but sometimes you guys are assholes, because you just like, I'm gonna go do it, I'm an Aries, I'm gonna start this off, because you are ruled by Mars, and so is Scorpio. But Scorpios have different ways. We're very secretive and underhanded, and we go to the depths and we find you. And we also have Pluto there, so we take you to the bowels of hell, and then strip you free, and then try and put you back together and say, there you go, float on, go ahead, you're fine now. Because everybody's like, what? So sorry. But with Aries coming in, it is the head, it is the I am. You got to watch the ego. The ego energy can come in. Ego energy is saying, I'm going to do this, or somebody's telling you you have to do this. And if you don't know how to do this is where a lot of anxiety and that can come up. So this is where am I balancing? Where am I creating? Coming into the water. The water and fire are creation. Right? You come from the fire, you come to the rebirthing, you come to the water to cleanse and clear and be rebirthed. So both are part of creating, right? Air is action. I'm gonna take that action. So I'm gonna take that action. The earth is what am I growing? I need to have a foundation. I need to have support. What's that foundation? And you need the fire and the water to really create what it is that you need in this all, so that you can have the prosperity. Venus is there with the Empress. Yeah, she is. And Venus right now, she's going back into Pisces, right? And she's there, she's nuzzling up to Neptune, and then doing her thing, and then going in, and she doesn't mind Saturn, right? Mars does not like Neptune. Mercury does not like Neptune. The two boys don't like Neptune because Neptune is a little bit of a jackass, right? So it's this feminine divine energy that is saying, okay, we got to go with the flow. We got to let love. We got to let God, and we got to step forward in this. And whew, it ain't easy, baby. It ain't easy. There you go. Have a blessed one. If you're still wanting a new moon reading, get a hold of me. They're $50. If you're wanting to do the 21-day journey and start a 21-day journey with Divine Will, definitely I can send that out to you. It's $88, and it's all recorded, and it's ready to go for you. All right. Blessed be everybody. Have a great one. Have a fabulous weekend, and we'll see what tomorrow will bring. Woohoo! Yeah. It's gonna be just between you guys, it's gonna be kind of fucked up this weekend. Just saying, just so slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady. God bless, and the goddess bless you. Bye-bye.